A long time ago, many millions of years ago, during the Cretaceous period, life was in full swing on Earth. Many wasn't even in the design stage yet. But there were all kinds of animals. They fly, crawled, swam, ran and jumped. Big and strong hunted for small and weak. And we will tell you about the life of one inhabitant of this wonderful world that once existed on Earth. 70 million years ago, there was one interesting species of prehistoric bird, the Alexones. It was a small sparrow-like animal with feathers and a serrated beak. Alexones and other early birds are thought to have had a similar perception to modern birds. Most enantiomorphic birds, such as Alexones, possess teeth. The species fed on insects. It is probable that Alexonophytes were similar to the modern Egyptian runners, which bravely entered the jaws of crocodiles when they yawn or open their mouths and search for rotten food between the teeth of the predator. Alexonophytes may well have done the same thing, but only by flying into the jaws of dinosaurs. These intrepid birds often rode on top of huge animals that lived in the late Cretaceous. They were hunted for insects that were a nuisance to both the giant Argentinosaurus and the standard Triceratops. In this story, the pesky Alexones travels on a Pachyrhinosaurus. Triceratopses. Pachyrhinosaurus is a ceratopsis from North America which lived during the Cretaceous period in 70 million BP. In weight almost 3 tons and was about 2 meters in size. Pachyrhinosaurus females raised their pups hatched from eggs in special nests on the ground and fed them vegetation, pre-digested it in the stomach. And here is our hero. A small baby Pachyrhinosaurus. Of all the brood, it is the weakest and has very little chance to survive in a cruel world. The largest and strongest cubs in the brood get more food, and when they reach adulthood, they claim to be the leaders of the huge Pachyrhinosaur herd. It seems that baby pachyderms and the restless Alexones have become friends. Although the friendship between Cretaceous animals was never what we would call affection. At this time, the Pachyrhinosaurus herd decided to be attacked by a triadon. The triadon was a small dinosaur reaching up to 2.5 meters in length, a meter in height and up to 50 kilograms in weight. Their eyes were very large, perhaps suggesting partly nocturnal lifestyle, and slightly turned forward. This theropod had the largest brain among the dinosaurs of the time, relative to its body mass. The lightweight skeleton and long legs made the triadon an excellent runner. Triadons allowed them to coordinate with each other during the hunt, so a triadon pack could hunt quite large game. The triadon preyed in our protagonist and grabbed him. The unexpected attack confused the entire herd. Meanwhile, the predator ran off, carrying the little Pachyrhinosaurus in its teeth, but the ceratopses surrounded the thief, preventing him from leaving the territory of the crime, and triadon had to leave the prey and hastily retreat into the forest thicket. As a child, all small animals are curious, and our little Pachyrhinosaurus was no exception. His interest in everything around him led him to meet an Ankylosaurus, as herbivorous as the hero himself. Ankylosaurus means bent lizard. It lived at the end of the Cretaceous and reached a length of 10 meters and could weigh up to 6 tons. Along the way, the hero also had his first encounter with the predatory Hesperonychus. Hesperonychus from the genus Dromaeosauridae is now the smallest predatory dinosaur from North America. The diet of these animals included insects, small mammals and amphibians. Overall, encounter went well for the little Pachyrhinosaurus. Childhood of the little ceratopsis passed in games, running and exploring the world around him. But now it was the time weather, a time of migration. and all the numerous herds of herbivores began to head south in search of warmer habitats and an abundance of food. The carnivores also gradually followed the herbivores. The migration flowed from the southern territories of North America to Alaska. During a thunderstorm, a fire broke out in a wooded area, catching our Pachyrhinosaurus here by surprise. Fire is scarier for any animals than a predator. Panicked herbivores began looking for a way out into the open, but in addition to the fire, there was another danger in the turmoil. Some herbivores died from the fire, and some friend predators who took advantage in the situation. The migration of the miraculously surviving herds of herbivores had been going on for months. During this time, Pachyrhinosaurus saw many new inhabitants of the Cretaceous period. He saw flying lizards for the first time. Pterosaurs or flying lizards lived from the late Triassic to the late Cretaceous of the Mesozoic era. The diversity of this species was very great. These carnivorous flying predators fed mainly on fish, but still posed a threat to terrestrial animals as well. Some pterosaurs could fly hundreds of kilometers in a day. Another representative of the Cretaceous period, that the hero of our story, so was a dangerous terrestrial predator, Gorgosaurus, a predatory dinosaur of the Tyrannosaurid family. Gorgosaurus ranges in body length from 8 meters. Gorgosaurus differed from the powerful Tyrannosaurus and Tabosaurus by its slimmer and more athletic body structure. Incredible sense of smell, keen eyesight and impressive speed of movement. Pachyrhinosaurus was a tidbit for this predator. Gorgosaurus did not act alone. A few individuals would set up a veritable herd of Pachyrhinosaurus, one when they hunted. First, the frightened herbivores with menacing growls, thus panicking the herd. The weak and young were separated from the general mass, which in principle was exactly what the Herbivores needed. Fortunately or unfortunately, was Pachyrhinosaurus managed to escape the terrible teeth of the Gorgosaurus. With several of his peers, he plunged into the water, and the powerful current carried the teenagers far away from the fearsome predators. When the little Pachyrhinosaurus got out of the river and found themselves in unfamiliar territory, there was an immediate encounter with inhabitants unknown to them. A herd of Edmontosaurus passed them by. The Edmontosaurus was a dog-billed dinosaur that inhabited North America at the end of the Cretaceous period, about 70 million years ago. It was a 9-meter-long giant, weighing almost 4 tons. The tail was 4 meters long. Pachyrhinosaurus tried to walk with the herd, which would lead them to food, but got tired and eventually fell behind. While the young Pachyrhinosaurus rested, they had to face the battle crabs. The little creatures fearlessly attacked the helpless travelers. Help came from the sky. Giant pterosaurs, lovers of eating crabs, meat unwittingly saved our heroes. When the danger had passed, the friends were in West Forest, where they were caught at night. And there was a new acquaintance, Cheirothanates, of representatives of the Aberraptor. The name means thin arms. Together with the tail, they were 2.5 meters long and weighed about 100 kilograms. The prehistoric representatives were omnivores and nocturnal hunted, and searching for food was coming to them. Cheirothanates tried to attack the travelers, but they were prevented by a long-horned Gorgonosaurus, which did not mind eating whatever God sent it. It was a miracle the Pachyrhinosaurus survived. After a long journey, the travelers found their herd, and life returned to normal. The herds had spent a long time wintering in the middle of the most beautiful places in Alaska, and with the onset of spring they started off their way back to the birthplace of our Pachyrhinosaurus. This herbivore migration followed the same route year after year. As the years passed, our little Pachyrhinosaurus evolved into a huge and powerful herbivore. Ceratops mating season began, and all males that reached their maturity could compete for the title of the strongest and the leader of the pack. In one of such fights, the oldest brother of our hero defeated his rival and became the pack leader. But it didn't last long. On the lake covered with thin ice, the herd began to sink under the inept leadership of the leader. Our hero took the situation in his hands and led the herd to safety. The chief didn't like it very much, and the duel between the two brothers was predetermined. The leader was stronger than our Pachy and won, almost becoming a dish for predators. Pachyrhinosaurus found new strength and himself to the fight with difficulties and decided to a rematch with the herd leader, but the rematch failed because of the looming fraud. Gorgosaurus attacked the herd, and our hero showed wonders of organization. He called off the entire herd to attack the predators, and after a brief struggle, the defeated enemy cowardly fled the battlefield. That's how our hero went from a small and weak Pachyrhinosaurus to a strong and wise leader of the pack. Thank you for watching this episode to the end. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe if you have not done so, and hit the bell not to miss new and interesting issues from the channel Real and Real.